We're in round 2 of the playoffs going up against the Atlanta Hawks. This is a team that's been giving us trouble all season. I don't know our season series, but they have weapons at every position. Jeff T can open the floor. He's the slasher of the team. He can open it up for everybody. Al Horford's a big body, and I don't even think I'm going to put Rudy Gobert on him. We have Danny Green to worry about. We also have Kyle Korver to worry about on the other arc. They got some spot-up shooters, but I'm not really too worried about them. I am pretty worried about Paul Millsap because he can stretch the floor. Rudy Gobert or Miles Turner is going to have their hands full trying to keep him under contain. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to put Rudy Gobert on Paul Millsap and put Miles Turner on Al Horford just to make things easier for us. I know that sounds a little weird because we want Roy Hibbert battling down in the post, but it would just make more sense to me. And I don't got to worry about Paul George and Monte Ellis guarding these wings trying to come off these screens and get open because they are pretty fast. They're going to be able to keep up with Danny Green and Kyle Korver. There ain't no issues on their offense. So as we look at the playoff standings, we're about to jump straight into the Hawks game 1. We got home court advantage. This is what I wanted. Only thing that matters is if we can pull this out. Let's see if these home court advantages can mean something. We don't have home court advantage for nothing. Let's see what we can do at home. To start it out, we go bananas, ladies and gentlemen. Straight off the tip-off, we get a dunk with Paul George. They start turning the ball over, which let Paul George just run the break. And they get another transition 3. They just left us wide open. They were causing so many turnovers in game 1 that they just could not handle us. And as we jump into the halftime, let's look at some highlights from the first quarter. Paul Millsap was trying to help his team fight through, but they were having too many turnovers, and that was leading to easy points for us. So they got themselves in a hole, and they just honestly, I don't know how they were going to expect to win by constantly turning the ball over like they was. So basically, we were just getting easy points with minimal defense. They were playing absolutely no defense because our defense was leading to easy offense the whole first half. And they were trying to get things going. You see how they're fighting for points. Meanwhile, we're getting easy layups. We were getting easy shots. We were taking the best shots possible while everything they put up was contested. So we get to a 51-35 lead at the half, and we're shooting 81%. 81? Are you serious? Do you believe we were shooting 81 by halftime? That's how you can tell we were just getting easy points. But they turned on the switch the second half and said we're going to make them fight for more points. But the fourth quarter, we absolutely destroyed them. 33 points in the fourth quarter. Blew them out by 19. They did not stand a chance this first game. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this is why we needed home court advantage. We are going to have the power on our side. We were the best team in the East, so it's looking like we're just about to sweep right through them. We beat them by 19 game 1. Let's see how they're going to react to game 2. You know they're Atlanta Hawks. They want to put up a fight. They gave us a challenge last season, so I'm looking for more of the same this season. That first game, they just didn't come prepared. So now we're going to jump straight into the halftime to see exactly what was going down through the first quarter. Paul George was in fuego. The boy put the team on his back the whole first half. I love Paul George. I love Paul George. I love Paul George. He was the key factor in this second game. Like the first game, he was helping us get out in transition. Game 2, he's helping us take over the whole first half again. And now the Atlanta Hawks are trying to fight back in the second quarter. But Paul George was just on another level, and they were just not able to handle Paul George. He had about 16 at the half. He was just going off, and they was not stopping him. 8 points in the first quarter, 8 points in the second quarter. He was doing his thing, and more the same through the second half as we kept a lead and we just held on to it. We did not lose the lead. We did not shift momentum. We just kept a solid pace throughout the rest of that game, and I'm proud of my team for doing that. As I said before, Paul George had a fantastic first half, and he showed more of that in the second half. The boy finishes with 37 points, and he was just locked in. He's locked in. This is what I want to see from Paul George. This is the My Career series about him. We want him to be the greatest, one of the greatest small forwards, and he is putting the team on his back. This is what we want from him. He has Kyle Korver on him, so you already know he's not going to guard Paul George, so why not just take it to him every play? Every single play. Let's take it straight at Kyle Korver, see if he can actually stop him. Let's force them to send multiple matchups at Paul George. And he is rising to the challenge. So now as we jump into game 3, we already know they're going to try and spotlight Paul George. We had to fit so many games in this video, I'm going to have to just keep breaking these down at halftime. So now the Atlanta Hawks are at home. They honestly secured the ball way better than they did the first 2 games. We were getting easy transition points. We were getting easy shots at the rim. The Atlanta Hawks this game got us to turn the ball over. Atlanta Hawks got out in transition. Atlanta Hawks was getting easy shots in the paint. Meanwhile, we're over here fighting. They actually flipped the script on us, gave us tough shots to hit while they were getting easy buckets around the rim. I knew this wasn't going to be an easy series because the first 2 games had me thinking like we might have them. They gave us a slight challenge in the first half, but we still came out with a 7-point lead. That 7-point lead is a big difference than how easy it was the first 2 games. And as we jump into the 4th quarter, we can see that Al Horford decided to put the team on his back and say, you know what, we are not losing this at home. Al Horford was getting so many matchups. He actually ended up getting Roy Hibbert and Miles Turner fouled out. Like, they both had 6 fouls trying to contain this man. Al Horford was on another level. He got my 2 main defenders, my main power forward and main center, he got them fouled out in the 4th quarter. So it was honestly after them 2, nobody else to stop him. Paul George is averaging 33 points this series, while Paul Millsap is averaging 23 points this series. Now as we jump into game 4, we're expecting Al Horford to be the main option. They're expecting our Paul George to be the main option. We need to stop Al Horford. So now straight off the jump, I'm putting Rudy Gobert on Al Horford to make sure he is not doing the same. But it was a very scrappy first half. The Hawks are at home. They are finally rising to the challenge. We are getting some points in transition, not many, not as much as we were when we were at home. They're securing the ball very well. We are grinding the ball inside. The whole first quarter was ours. The second quarter, honestly, was a different story because the Atlanta Hawks, Paul Millsap, went on OD. He decided to put the team on his back. That's just why you got to watch out for Paul Millsap and Al Horford. He got 2 strong options down there. You worry about Al Horford, so I put Rudy Gobert on him. Then that's when Paul Millsap takes off. So now what am I meant to do? So now they going to Al Horford. He puts up a beautiful shot. We're in the 3rd quarter. We're just trying to see what we can do, and we get a beautiful. We run into Ian Mahinmi and Rudy Gobert lineup. We run into Ian Mahinmi and Rudy Gobert because we need more defense, and Miles Turner wasn't getting it done, so we needed extra defense, so we threw our double center out there. That means we didn't have a stretch, so I had to end up putting David West back in. We ain't had nobody that could take the jump shots, and that was slowing down our offense, so we had to end up putting my man David West back out there, which means they were going to start killing us with points again. We were trying to break down this score this 3rd quarter, but since we had little inside protection, they were getting whatever they want on the inside. As we sim, we can see they destroy us the whole 4th quarter. I'm struggling to find an answer for Al Horford and Paul Millsap. Now as we jump into the next game of the series, game 5, we are at home again, and now they jump out on top of us, and we're at home. So as we in the halftime, we're trying to figure something out. We're trying to get this game back under us, but it's seeming like Al Horford and Paul Millsap are really too much for us to handle. We end up fighting back in the 4th quarter. 33 points in the 4th. I don't know how we did it, but my team flips a switch and they drop 33 in the 4th. So now as we get into game 6 of the series, they're back in Atlanta, and Paul George is trying the 4th quarter. We're jumping straight into that 4th quarter, and Paul George is going ballistic. He's like, we're ending the series now. There's no reason for us to keep it going. Throw a double team at Jeff Teague, and Paul George went off in the 4th. I love Paul George. I love Paul George. I love Paul George. We end up winning this series in 6 games, 4 games to 2, headed to the Eastern Conference Finals. The only player that went off on their team was Al Horford, as you expected. Everybody else had pretty average games. Paul George dropped about, let's say, 8 or 7 points that fourth quarter to really put us over that edge. And now we're going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. As I told you early in the season, they were below 500, and right after that All-Star break, they hit a stride. That's the team I'm scared of.